Welcome! Here we are again at the end of the summer, and we've got another great idea to show our membership something that I think a lot of us want to learn. And we've got the expert and her assistant here today to show us. And we are in Pat Wallach's lovely garden, and she grows cutting flowers, and she's going to tell us all about it. And Joan and Pat also run our 3 parlor shows that we have, our Ring and Brags, at our garden club. So welcome, and let's go.
Thank you. I'm really excited about doing this because I don't grow many of the flowers, but I've seen some gardens that are filled with lovely flowers that can be cut. And I do weddings, but I don't usually buy them from a wholesaler. I do have some flowers that are left, though, that I can use today, and I've also borrowed a bunch from a very good neighbor, from Ken and Deb Brody down the street, and they have given me a lot of the beautiful oranges and reds, and I thought for the fall it would be nice to be able to do some things, that flowers that are in your garden right now. So this one is very simple, and I've used it for a lot of weddings, except that usually my hydrangea are a beautiful blue. But at this time of the year, the blue ones have lost their luster, the petals have turned brown, but underneath, under the leaves, they seem to turn this lovely green. It's very soft. So I picked a bunch of them just to show you one very simple way to make an arrangement in a vase, which is what Linda had asked me to do. Here is my vase. I put some floral life in that because it'll keep the flowers alive much longer. And then this is hypericum leaves. You'll be cutting them off anyway because all new grows later on in the spring, or early in the spring. In fact, they start blooming at Christmas. They're wonderful plants to have. And I just put the hypericum around. This gives you a little bit of color, as well as it extends the flower arrangement down over the glass. And remember, when you're doing flowers, you really should, a bouquet like this, you really should have most of the flowers up on top and most of the color up on top. They say you should have twice as much here as you do here, but I think that's a little bit too much for me. I would rather have this down to cover a bit of the glass, and then maybe make it 1 times higher with the flowers. So I just put those in, and they sort of form a web as well to slide the flowers down into. Now I have cleaned off most of the leaves, but then they slide in beautifully. I want the very little ones at the bottom that will also, you have to cut off these extra hooks because they will grab onto others and make it more difficult to arrange. I put the little ones around the outside like this. There's another leaf that should come off. It's a little bit too long with the hook on the end. Place them around in a circle, and usually it takes 4 or 5. In this case, these are very small. Usually a hydrangea can be this big, as you know. It depends on the variety. Place them around in a circle, the first layer. And this one might be a little bit too long as well, so I'll put it around like this. And as it is, I think 5 of them will fit very nicely there. And one here. Making a nice circle, and you see how the green sort of accentuates the flowers. If they were blue, you would see the blue much better, but the green is so soft that I couldn't resist it. They really are lovely. Then we want some up higher, so these can go in, and you can leave the green leaves on too. They won't last very long. These might dry for you even, which would be nice. But the leaves are they still look very attractive up above. And I put them in between so they're sort of resting nicely, around like this. And one nice big one on right in the middle there. Now I did have beautiful, beautiful dahlias this year. I had a wedding for the 26th of August to do all of the flowers, and it was big, so I planted lots of white because she wanted white and green, which is very popular right now. And so I have all of these beautiful dahlias, and one of the very popular things that I do is to take the larger ones and find spots between, and they just pop out so beautifully on the background. If it's blue, they really look attractive, but this green is still very, very nice. And this one still has its bud, but that's okay. They all face a certain direction usually, so they're facing out for you to see. Just find a hole to put them in, and I'll let another one over in here, and it will face out so that it fills that gap and fits down nicely in there. This one here will fit nicely right in that spot. Can even put some down below if they're a little bit smaller. But you can see how the green accentuates by putting these right on the surface. It really makes the white attractive. I have lots here, so I'm just going to go around and put lots more into any kind of a gap. Doesn't matter if the hydrangea is covered up, but you can really see the white.
Wow.
And just make sure that they're all down in water. I put the water right up near the top because these plants will draw quite a lot of water out. So be sure you put plenty of water in. And this one could go way down inside. And I also like groupings rather than single flowers. Groupings are very attractive. And another gap maybe right in here. Now I have quite a few, but one more up on top might add to the height of it. So if that looks nice.
Oh, beautiful.
And of course these dahlias are really beautiful, so I can't miss. And this is the whole trick. You can't lose with flowers. You just have to be confident enough to put them in, that's all. You just can't lose. And even combining different colors, as you can see in that arrangement over there, of mostly Deb Brody's flowers, you can see you put any colors together, they look beautiful. And for the fall, there are lots of dahlias now. Dahlias are a good bet. And then she also has zinnias, which I'm going to grow a lot more of. Zinnias are so bright and vibrant. I have many more over here waiting to show you how to do another arrangement. But for now, you can see how simple this is, and all you need is something right out of your garden. Okay. So these I can't miss with these flowers. One in particular that I will use as the center top is this one here. Deb showed me one that was 8 days old, and it was completely solid, beautiful red and orange and yellow. It was a beautiful one. So it will gradually open, and I would use it as the center. As with the blue one I just did, this would be the center up on top. So I have all of these beautiful flowers, all different lengths again, but all out of the garden. Zinnias are just vibrant in color, and Deb has a lot of them down there, and these are the ones that you can get in bouquets if you want them. Mm-hmm. I especially like the reds, are very nice. Mm-hmm. And then I do have a red dahlia, which is different. It doesn't have so many petals, but it is still very beautiful. I really like this one. And mixed with white dahlias, this would just be a gorgeous arrangement as well.
Pat,
yes.
I have a question. For the first bouquet you did, you called the leaves hypericum?
Yes, those are
they
sorry, not hypericum.
Hellebore.
Hellebores. They're hellebores.
Okay.
Sorry,
so,
I do get the names mixed up.
Okay. So
and I am using hypericum,
yes.
This one over here.
Oh, okay.
Now I grow these, and
yes.
I have this one that is orange, goes almost brown on its tips, you can see. Mm-hmm. And it starts as a flower, and then these are the seeds. And this one in particular spreads. I find them all over the place in the yard, so I am potting them up, the little ones. Now I just need the center for this bouquet, but I need to have some height in this bouquet. And I also have, of course, the hellebores here. And Joan, I'll have to have the big white vase, please. a lot of these. Now I keep these because in the smaller arrangements I've used a lot of the hypericum berries. Okay, so you can use as many of these as you want, but they do make a nice border. And there are a lot of different plants in your garden that can be used for the base or making the web to put the flowers down into. And they also cover up part of the vase, and they add a lot of nice contrast to the bright colored flowers. So I've put them all around like this. And they can be quite thick. This is quite a wide mouth vase. If you get flowers in things like this, be sure to keep them because you can make your own arrangements up. So that gives you quite a lot. And then I also have the hypericum berries to put in the middle, just to form a little bit more of a rack for them to help hold the flowers in place, and they will peek out amongst the flowers. So there you are to be able to start. Now some of the big flowers can go around the bottom. A beautiful zinnia, just gorgeous zinnia that one is, and it goes around the bottom like that. There's a beautiful dahlia. I really like this one as well, and we're using all fall colors, and which is pretty well what dahlias come in. They're just about all, except for my beautiful white ones, of course. Another lovely one, this one is my own. I just grow them for fun. Do you see how the hypericum berries will stick out? And they do add a texture to the arrangement as well. Another full-blown zinnia, and Deb showed me yesterday that if you pull out the petals, the seeds are on the ends of all of the petals. So when they're full blown like this, you could pull them out and there's a little wee seed on the end. I was showing Joan earlier, it's true. And you can keep them, and as the Brodies grow all of their zinnias from the seeds that they collect off of their favorite ones. So again, if you put that one down in there, do you see it's already forming into a beautiful arrangement? This one I'm keeping for the very end. I would like another orange one, I think, after a red. This one will go down nicely right in there.
Was that a Deb Brody?
Good thing about dahlias is that they seem to grow and they hang a little bit, so that they do fit nicely around the outside. But they're a bit more frail than the zinnias. The zinnias are so strong, they really are, which makes them nice. And if I put this one down in here, just to fill that little gap, now we can begin putting in all of the top ones and all of the variety, all the textures that you can get. They're just so beautiful. At this time of the year is a wonderful time, and I really enjoy working with all of these lovely colors. I especially like oranges and yellows, and often you'll have the purple will accent. So if you've got all of those colors together, if you put a purple one or two in, that always looks so nice as well. Then along with the reds, let's put some more oranges. And dahlias in yellow are I've certainly seen nice bright ones, but the ones I got were very much pastel. So I was thinking I would make an arrangement like that in the future of pastels, and it would be a spring or a new baby or some such thing. I do have a lot of those pastels. Just be sure that the dahlia goes into the water and isn't sticking out on the outside. The stems sometimes do that on you. This is also an unusual one that she had. She called this a zinnia, and you can see the petals. It is a zinnia. These are definitely zinnia leaves, but it sure is an unusual one like that. Sort of a real rusty color. And just to make sure that I get it right, okay. See how I'm using up all of these beautiful flowers?
Oh.
You can have a lot and not realize that they...
Oh, that one missed.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Just what I was saying, it happens. Sometimes you just run your hand around there to feel after when you're finished everything. Oh. And I'm keeping this one for the very center because it will open up into a gorgeous arrangement, into a gorgeous display. Another red one right there. This one here is especially strong, and zinnias really are good. Look how thin that is, and yet stiff as can be. So I'm sure going to try growing them next year. I can sure use them. And just making sure. I do especially like the centers on them. They really sort of pop. Another really pretty orange one, which could go right there. And I do have the water right up to the top so that they're sure to be in water because they hold each other. And with the hypericum berries, they're holding everything together. So just make sure you've done that. And maybe one more red over in here. And then I'll put the center one in place. There, good. And then this great big center. And it will open up, she said, right in there in the middle.
I like
so
that
there
flower
you are.
there.
Pardon?
I like that flower there.
Which one?
That one there. This one here.
This one, oh yes. This one is also different. Very
so different.
But it is more frail than many of the others. But that's right. This is really a beautiful one, no question.
Is it a dahlia?
Yes, it is a dahlia, yes. Oh no, yes it is, certainly. If you look at the little wee sepals underneath there, you can usually tell what they are. But that's right. It looks quite strong for a dahlia. So we'll put that down in there. It is much stronger than I would expect for such a fine. It really does look good, doesn't it?
Yes.
And then this one here down in that side. Watch the stems.
Yeah.
As long as it's in there.
Get in there.
It's getting pretty packed, but if you're careful, don't get impatient. Just patiently poke it around until it slides right into place.
Oh,
okay. It's just beautiful for the fall. And it's so simple. You have to just
so beautiful.
Do it. Grab the bull by the horns and do it.
Yes.
But you see how the green really helps here. And definitely the hypericum berries could have been a bit longer, but they're still visible and they still add quite a lot. So I've got a lot of those little ones growing, and they normally are quite a bit bigger as your thumb. And Joan has some growing.
Me too.
Often.
I got them from you.
Is that? Yes, yeah. Well, usually they in an arrangement that you buy and pay a lot of money for, there are green ones now. It was one of the first light green flowers type things to put into bouquets, and it sort of makes everything pop. Those light green ones, a lime green, but this one is quite pretty, and I've tried to grow the lime green, but I can't seem to get it right. So the ones that I've got work well. Now even the leftovers, if you take them in your hand and just put them together, you can't lose with flowers. No matter what the colors are, just do one color and then another. So I've got 4 oranges here with the red in the middle, and then add more around. If you have bouquets made for you, you'll end up with the same, it'll be just like this, with all of these things around in a circle. Just add the flowers. Oh, this is something Deb gave me. She said she uses these as well. Take all the petals off and just use the center when they're nice. And it gives another accent like that. And if you add them just around in a circle, you could do your own little arranging. And then just plunk them right into a vase. Now they are going to be way too long, but just put them right into a vase, and it's a lovely thing just for your little table in the kitchen. Makes a nice arrangement. Now often I add things to them, and these are ideas. You can save these. I found one growing on its own in my garden, so now I'm going to start planting them. These are from poppies, and they're usually full of seeds, so just shake them around and you'll have poppies growing everywhere. Or a wheat is another one, but you pretty well have to buy that here unless you've got a farm. But the wheat would look lovely in there too, sticking up and giving it another dimension. And then even this that many people have in their garden. These are the seeds from crocosmia. And, and these have not started to pop apart yet. So they would also look very nice and give you another dimension if they were sticking out. And that's quite common now, is to have things that sort of flow out in all directions, like curly willow looks very nice as well. So Joan has this in her garden as well, but they're now seeding, and I thought we should leave them for the birds. But this one here hasn't started yet, so I thought that would be nice. You could break this off and use it just down inside and around and about. Okay, well, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope that it's a little bit of a help.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Assistant Joan.
Yes. Oh, I couldn't do without Joan.
Well, thank you so much, Pat and Joan. I feel like a bride. But I do know I'm going to go home and take the hellebore I got in my garden.
Yes, yes.
And some of my dahlias. And I'll be visiting Pollock Park because we have quite a few dahlias there. And giving it a try. And I've got the hypericum also. So
Yes. Oh, good. That's a good idea.
It looked far less scary than I thought it was.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
This has been absolutely awesome. And I mean, this is so simple. But just so you know, other exciting things that are coming up is that Pat and Joan every September have a parlor show or a bring and brag. So you're going to see information about that in our newsletter that's coming out in the next few days. And also we're going to have another exciting event in Pollock Park, date to be determined, where we will be able to share seeds. We'll be able to bring some seeds that we want to share with our fellow members. You might even be able to help out in the garden while you're there. So all of this is to come, and we're delighted to be here. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much for having me. Yes.